8:20 East Coast time. This is the game of the day. This is the rematch at NFC Championship last year between the Cowboys and the Niners. We knew how that went down last year. Sorry, not the NFC Championship, but the division game. This was the game after the wild card, because the NFC Championship last year was the Eagles versus the Niners when they didn't have any quarterbacks. So my fault. Right before the NFC Championship game last year, but this is a rematch from last year's postseason game. You got the 3-1 Cowboys headed to the Niners. This is a rival game. This is the game that we all, if you're an 80s baby, you've seen this matchup plenty times, late 80s, early 90s. Sometimes it went to the Cowboys. Sometimes it went to the Niners. You had guys flipping sides. You had Charles Haley playing on both sides. You had Deion Sanders playing for both franchises. You had Terrell Owens playing for both franchises. You had Ken Norton Jr. Playing for both sides. You just had all these guys, man. And it just seemed like those were just the winners in their late 80s and in the early 90s, and they always went at it. But back to 2023. Cowboys playing great ball. Obviously it all rides on Dak Prescott's arm and his ability to protect the ball. But they've been playing great ball. Obviously, their defense is super duper dynamic. Micah Parsons is a beast. Always up there for MVP defensive race every year since he entered the league. He's just so dynamic. And then you go to the other side and you can look at, what they are able to do. The Niners on all sides of all three facets of the game: offense, defense, special teams. Brockpurdy, Mr. Irrelevant. I think we can go ahead and scratch that. There's nothing irrelevant about him. A beast. Not only manages the game, but makes the plays, makes the passes. Has so many players that he can go to. Brandon Ayuk. I know he's been kind of injured a little bit. I'm not quite sure if he's in the lineup. If he is, he's a dynamic player. You got Debo, obviously. You got Ray McLeod, who's starting to get into the game now. He's not just returning punts. Now he's receiver. You got George Kittle, and obviously you got one of my favorite players in the entire league, CMC, who has, I believe, either 12 or 13 straight games with a touchdown. He's right up there with Lamar Jackson if you're talking about MVP of the NFL right now. Super duper beast. Give it to him out the backfield. Either through a run, through a pass, and he's throwing passing touchdowns if those linebackers and safeties creep up too much. He'd throw it over the top for a touchdown too. And then their defense, super duper good, man. Obviously, it always starts with Fred, the G. Warner, Badru, Greenlaw. Their defensive their front four is super duper dope, man. They just well coached, man. And Kyle Shanahan got those guys just working, man. They look like a team that's destined to want to come out the NFC, to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl too. So, but with that said, I know we got a lot of Cowboy fans in America. I'm not one of them. I'm going with the Niners. LeBron James.